What's up everybody, it's Broken Bones here and welcome to my X Factor wheat farm tutorial. This farm is revolutionary in the fact that this thing can really pump out wheat. This thing is really good in the fact that it puts every single wheat farm under lockdown, and it has a regular X-shaped wheat farm in the middle. This wheat farm uses actual minecarts and water and hoppers, so it uses both, and that's the reason why it's revolutionary. But the way that mine actually is different from a lot of other designs that you've probably seen out there on YouTube is the fact that this design puts each and every farm under lockdown, making it to where the plants can actually fully grow before they're harvested with water. One of the biggest issues that I've had with the other designs that I've seen on YouTube is I went ahead and built them, and before they could actually grow, the villager was already breaking these fully grown plants, replanting them, making it to where I didn't get the wheat, they did. And so therefore the farm was kind of broken at that point. So if you're having the same type of struggles, I suggest going ahead and buckling up, getting ready to go ahead and get all these resources, because this thing is not resource light. This thing is very resource intensive, and not only that, you're going to need certain blocks, and I suggest you go ahead and get yourself some colored blocks, because to build this thing out of one solid block type, it's nearly impossible. This thing is so complicated, but with a full breakdown, I will go ahead and show you guys how to build this really simply. But first, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how this farm works. As you can see, we have a minecart hopper collection system set up on the X-shaped part of the farm. This X-shaped part of the farm is very efficient with these minecarts, but the issue with minecarts is that they're known to be very unreliable. These minecarts, oftentimes, they will get stuck, they will also disappear, and for whatever reason, I just don't like minecarts, and they're just, like I said, they're unreliable. But, like I said, this farm with minecarts is very efficient, but because of the reliability issue, that is why I wanted to also put it side by side with the farm that uses water and hoppers as a collection system rather than minecart hoppers. So but either way, one of the biggest issues is maintaining this thing. One of the big things that I often get questions of is when I build my big farms is all the maintenance that goes along with these things, because of the fact that things like minecarts despawning and they also get stuck. So one of the issues is fixing that. So if you look at me, I have an elytra on. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead and attempt to maintain this thing, and if you want to, you can go ahead and spam X, and if you spam X fast enough, you can actually get inside this thing with the elytra on. Now this will allow you to go ahead and break mine carts, break mine tracks if you need to. Go ahead and maintain everything you need to under here. So that's one of the big key things with maintaining the farm is easy accessibility, because this thing obviously is very tight, and one of the things is you don't want to get stuck in these areas, because otherwise you're going to have to spam X again and try to get out of there, and if the minecarts go at that time, well, I told you so, so just put it that way. And the cool thing is that where all these items go, I will show you guys next. Here is the item collection system, not only for both style of farms, the water collection system and the minecart hopper system. All of these farms do come down into one focal point and come down into these chests. As you can see, we've got a ton of wheat and some stone there apparently too. But as you can see, we've got a ton of wheat just coming into the system, so that's really great. Then right here, all we have is some bread filters like that, and we have some seeds filters like that, so that way we don't get any bread or seeds from the villagers throwing that out, and we just have that going into some lava right here. So that's pretty easy enough said. So therefore all we do is we get wheat inside those chests over there, and this thing is just a really simple hopper clock. You just go ahead and put some items in these hoppers, make it go about once every 3 or 4 minutes or so, so that way the items don't actually despawn. Once that goes ahead and happens, go ahead and make that pulse into a into a block where it will get removed in order to go ahead and make it to where the minecart hoppers can come back and release their items. This is just an easy way to make an item unloader from a minecart in order to make it to where it's not like this is the only style way that I could actually do it with the style it is, because all 4 minecarts come into one block, and so therefore this is the style we have to use. We have to get that signal to go up just in one block space. So this is just an easy way to do that. So I'll show you guys how to do that in the tutorial. And so yeah, this thing is really efficient. As you guys can see, this has only been running for less than 2 hours, so this thing is really doing good. Like I said, it pumps out about 15 to 16 stacks per hour. This thing's been maybe running just over 2 hours maybe, because I did take some time to actually show you guys how big this thing is. So one of the things about this farm is the fact that it goes on lockdown mode. Now I think some of you guys might actually be concerned, so that's what I'm going to talk to you guys about next. So this farm will actually open up once it's been harvested. Now, as you can see, there's a tripwire in the middle of this farm that the villager is triggering. This tripwire allows the farm to know when it's actually being replanted. As you can see, it is being replanted because the villager is going back and forth on the new farmland right there. So, therefore, this farm does not start the timer until it is being replanted. So, that is one of the key things about this. Now, it will stay open for a few minutes until the villager actually gets time to replant the entire landscape there, and it will actually know if the villager is still inside once it's gone in lockdown mode. That is one of the things that people are concerned with this farm, is the fact that once these close, what if my villager is still inside and he's stuck in there? Well, that's what this machine is for. I will go ahead and show you guys how this thing works in the tutorial, but nonetheless, basically what it does is it allows the farm to reopen for a split second, actually for more like a minute, and let the villager out and go ahead and continue farming out in this farm. Then it'll go ahead and close, allowing the farm to go ahead and grow to its full capacity before it's actually harvested. So, this farm right here is really just something, man. I tell you what, I've done so much research on all these different types of wheat farms. I've tried to come up with my own style. I've tried and failed, and finally came up with one that actually works for me and for my server. So that's one of the key things, is I'm going to start putting these things on my server. And the cool thing about this farm is that it doesn't just work for wheat. It also works for carrots and potatoes, which is key for villager trading. Now, one of the key things is the fact that you can actually split this down the middle. If you go ahead and put blocks all the way down the middle of this farm in each direction, you could have a V-shaped farm for wheat, carrots, and potatoes, and even more wheat if you want to, because I think that wheat is one of the key things to have in your server if you're going to have a server with farms like these, because of the fact that, yeah, this doesn't always grow as fast as carrots and potatoes do. But as you can see right there, our villager actually did get trapped inside, and he tripped the tripwire, allowing the farm to reopen so he can come back out. So that was a perfect example of what my lockdown system does. So therefore, proof right there. You guys got to see. So this guy actually needs to come out before the minute actually comes up. But you know what? That's the thing, is that sometimes these guys do get stuck inside the farm. See, he got stuck inside there again. But nonetheless, he will go ahead and trip that tripwire again and probably come back out. So no big deal. So, but anyways, I think that's enough talking about this farm. I think it's time to go ahead and show you guys how to build this thing. To start things off, you're going to need a sizable area to build this farm. It is quite big. It is 41 blocks wide. Each module itself is 19 blocks in width. You are also going to need to make sure that you have 9 blocks of clear space underneath this farm to build all of these components. Alright, so you've got a spot that's big enough to place this farm in. Remember, it's 41 blocks by 41 blocks wide, and you need 9 blocks beneath the thing to go ahead and build some of that. And that's just my little storage system beneath there. If you guys need more storage, you're going to have to account for that too. If you guys want to, you guys can actually bring the items out and bring the storage into a different spot above ground, however you guys want to do it. That's completely up to you. This is my design, and this is just a quick and easy way to show you guys how efficient the farm is. So the storage is pretty much up to you. But you are going to need at least 9 blocks for the stuff that I have beneath there. So once you've gotten that, you're going to go ahead and pick a corner, any corner to start in. Once you've done that, you're going to go ahead and come off that corner block, 9 more blocks, so in total 10. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, now we have 2 bits of redstone, 2. And then we're going to come down because now we have water. Okay, and we have water for 15 blocks. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's the middle, so we're going to mark that one. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, and then we're going to add one more just to be able to come up like that. Now remember, we have 2 bits of redstone, so that's our 2 bits of redstone. And then we have 9 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Plus one more, the corner block right there. Okay, now off these corner blocks, we're going to come out 9 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And off this one over here, we're going to come off 9 more too. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so this is what you should have, something like this that looks like this so far. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and get ready to put our purple circuit in, which is all of the pistons that are going to be pushing the lockdown mechanism up. For this border too, by the way, you can use any block of your choice. I happen to like sea lanterns because of the fact it looks like graph paper, makes it easy to count, makes it easy for you guys to follow along, and it provides light, so it's actually a pretty cool block. But for this next part, you are going to need sticky pistons. You're going to need a lot of them. So you're going to go ahead and break those guys out. We're going to come down here to this area where the water area actually steps back up. So we're going to come over here, we're going to go and place these down, and we're going to go ahead and make a zigzag pattern all the way to the middle. Alright, so we're going to place these down just like this, all the way to that middle block that I have, and we're going to leave that middle block empty actually. And I think we need one more just like so. There we go. All right, and then we're going to do the same thing to the other side, just like so. We're going to go ahead and bring that out just like that, and sometimes you can get in a little rhythm here where it goes a little bit faster if you get strategic with it. But yeah, so there we go. Let's see, all the way out just like that. There we go. Alright, now what I like to do is I like to actually put these sea lanterns on top of my sticky pistons because of the fact that they give off light, like I said. And you can't use these for the top because they will suffocate the villager. Sometimes when they do close, they will suffocate the villager and kill it, so you have to use a transparent block that will allow the villager to continue to breathe even though it's trapped in there. So no big deal though. And so that's the first step done. Now for the redstone wiring. I'm going to go ahead and use blue terracotta. It looks purple in color, so we're going to call it purple terracotta. We're going to go ahead and come down here to the bottom, and on the back pistons, we're going to go ahead and place this terracotta just like so. So we're going to place that down all the way just like so. Okay, just like that. Wonderful. Okay, so now what we're going to do too is we're going to come off of that. We're going to come off of that 3 blocks. 1, 2, 3, and we're going to come off every single one 3. So we're going to make this triangular shape here just like this. Let's see here. All the way up to the front, and then on the front we can actually leave it as 2 like that. So we're going to go ahead and start down here 2 as well and continue that. We're going to go in 1, 2, 3, knock this back block off. We don't need that one. And then a 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. All right, then we can actually go up 1 block here, just like that, and we're going to put a torch on here like this. Just like that. There we go. All right, now we're going to go ahead and break out our repeaters. We're going to go ahead and put a repeater on each and every one of these. Okay, so we're going to go repeater, 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 repeater. Then we're going to go ahead and break out our redstone. Go redstone just like this all the way back to that redstone torch. Just like that. There we go. So that's all of our back pistons extended on one side. So let's go ahead and hook up this side. Let's go ahead and go repeater, 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 and then redstone, 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 all the way back to the redstone torch, all the way back here. Alright, so there is our back pistons all done. So now all we have to do is do the front pistons. For this next bit here, we'll be using the same block, but you will need a half slab to complete the design. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a similar style right here. We're just going to go ahead and make this zigzag pattern, except it's only going to be 2 blocks, because if you remember, that one was 3 blocks wide because we had a repeater in there. This one does not need a repeater. We're just going to hook it up with redstone. So we're just going to go ahead and complete that linked up right there, and then we're going to add a half slab right here, just like that. There we go. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and link up redstone just like that, and that should come all the way over, and that is all of our front pistons all wired up on this side. There we go. So now we need to do that to the other side. Let's go ahead and break out this purple terracotta right here. And I believe we start right there, just like so. Come out 2 blocks, 2 blocks, 2 more blocks, 2 more blocks, and 2 more. Redstone, redstone, redstone. Just go ahead and place redstone down all over these, just like so. There we go. And then remember our half slab that goes right here. There we go, just like that. Break that one and put redstone right there, and that's all of those done. So there is our bottom pistons all done. Now it is time to put in your collection system. For your collection system, you're going to be needing a bunch of hoppers. So what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and come down here. We're going to come 2 blocks below the bottom of the farm. So we're going to go 1, 2, just like that. And we're going to go ahead and bring that guy right there. You're going to face that hopper into that block, just like so. And then you're actually going to need to crouch to do the rest of this. So you're going to have to go up by 1, and I believe we can come up a few more. I believe we come all the way up to here. Yes, okay, so this is the level you want to be at. You want to be at the level of the pistons. So this is where the water is going to be on top of this hopper right here, and then the rest of this will be all farmland underneath. So you're going to crouch and place these in. Okay, now these are just going to face right into each other just like so, and then these are going to go off from each side. So you're going to go in a zigzag pattern just like we did with the purple terracotta. And we're just going to go just like this. This is kind of difficult because you do have to crouch, and there's a very tiny side to actually get. But if you get that cursor right in the right spot, as you can see, you can go pretty fast. So just a kind of a pro tip right there. So there you go. You got some hoppers in place just like that. Let's see if we can do this again on this side. Let's see if we can get that little rhythm together. Not quite yet. Let's see, is that it? No. Nope, I'm not getting it on this one. Sometimes it's a little harder. Let's see here. Okay, so nonetheless, we know what we got to do. We got to go back and forth. Got to make sure you go back and forth in between each and every piston. So until you get all the way back to the water area, because as you guys know, this is the water area. And then we also need to put a dispenser right here. Where's my dispenser? I've got a bunch of droppers on me. Let's go ahead and get a dispenser here real quick. There's our dispenser. Let's go ahead and take that guy. We're going to put our dispenser there, just like so, and then put our water bucket in there just like that. There we go. So that is our collection system all done. So now it's time to place in your dirt and your water. Now to do this, you're going to have to build some of the decorations. I chose stairs on the outside of my build. As you can see, I used stairs to go ahead and border in this part of the water. So that's what I'm going to be using. You guys can use any block of your choice. This part doesn't matter. But we're going to go ahead and place in stairs just like this. And then coming off the center here, we're actually going to come up 1 block and then come over 2 more and have 2 more on this side to make a 5 wide area, because we're going to be needing that space later. So we're going to go ahead and build our stairs around that. So we're going to come around just like so, just like that. Then we're going to bring this just like there. I like the way these look, the stairs. They're just so decorative, I think. You can use different colors and make this thing look really good and make it really pop. Because this, I wanted to make this farm look really good in comparison to some of the other farms. I know some of the other farms look pretty industrial, and it's nice to have good looking stuff. So I wanted to give you guys some type of a design choice there. So that is our starting point for our water. Now we're going to go ahead and place in all of our dirt. We're going to go ahead and, just to make it easy, we're going to start off like that and break that one so I don't have to crouch to place the dirt on top of the hoppers. But we're just going to come over just like that, fill all of this in, just like so. There we go. Alright, now we're just going to go ahead and continue to fill all of this in. Let's go ahead and go like that. There we go. Alright, and then fill this completely all the way in, all this empty space that you've got right here. Now that your dirt's all in place, it is time to get your water in. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and place our water in. One of the cool things about this farm is you can use 1 water bucket to actually hydrate the entire farm. But just for looks, I want to fill the entire thing up. So we're going to go ahead and go just like that. There we go. Because I like the way it looks. Because we actually have some redstone that actually goes through this water. Which, as you guys know, redstone and water don't mix. So I bet you guys are kind of curious about that. I'll show you guys how that works here later. And then we also need the water here in the front of the farm. Now the front of the farm, we're going to have to come up a block like that and put the water right there, just like so. And then we can come just like this and place another block above that, just like so. All right, now we can actually go ahead and till this entire farm. So, your farm should be looking something like this, where every bit of soil is hydrated, just like mine is. None of the blocks have turned back into dirt, so that's good. And if it has, then go ahead and break out your glass blocks, because we're going to go ahead and encase this thing in glass. So we're going to go ahead and come across the entire bit of water, just like that. There will be glass all the way around this as well, but we're not going to do that just yet. We're just going to build the module right now, and we're going to come across with a second layer of glass, just like that. Then in the middle, we're going to come back to the middle, knock this block out. We're going to put a solid block there with a tripwire hook on its face. We're also going to do the same thing right behind us in the center right there. Solid block with a tripwire hook on its face. And we're going to come across with string just like so and link these guys up. Let's see if we can get that last bit of string in there. Perfect. So now that will go ahead and let the farm know when the villager is coming in to plant it. So once you have this done, go ahead and move on to the next step. So, once you have your glass in place and your tripwire installed, it is now time to do the upper piston. So, what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and come off this corner block right here of glass. We're going to come up 2 more blocks and 1 more block up just like that. We're going to knock these 2 out, and we're going to come over 1 more block like that and knock that one out as well. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to mirror this pattern right here. So, we're going to come over 1 more and do this zigzag pattern all the way to the center, which I believe we need to actually come up 1 more, just like so. Now we're going to do the same thing, knock out that one, and come down and mirror this pattern on this side as well, just like so. And then what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and place our sticky pistons on the bottoms of all these. So we're going to come down here with our sticky pistons and go just like so on all of these. So we're going to go ahead and place all these, make sure that they're all facing down. All of them are facing downwards, and get that one right there also. There we go. Alright, then we're going to go ahead and do this line of ones. Let's see if we can do this here really nice and quickly. I wonder if it'd be fast if we do the back ones first like that, then do the front ones. Yes, that's much faster. There we go. Alright, now what we're going to use is we're going to use glowstone, because like I said, sometimes a villager will come in here and sometimes this mechanism will actually close up on it. So you're going to need to use some type of a block that does not suffocate your villager when it actually does come down. So we're going to be using glowstone. So we're going to go ahead and put this glowstone on all of these here, and I think I'm going to do the same thing that I did before, put all the back ones on, then all the front ones on. Yes, that's much faster. There we go. And then we're going to do the same thing over here, just like so. There we go. Yeah, this is the way to do that. That's really fast. Okay, perfect. Now what we're going to do also is we're going to bring in redstone. Let's see if that's still a quick way to do it. Doing that, I think so. This might be a new way to actually do stuff. Trying to figure out a quick way to lay all your materials down is always a good way to do things. Anything that's quick and efficient. There we go. Alright, so once you have that look, now it is time to move on to the next step. Alright, so once your top circuit looks like this, where it's all been completed up, it is now time to make these 2 circuits talk to each other, because as you can see, this bottom circuit is extended when this one is retracted, and so what we need to be is we need this one to be retracted when this one's retracted, and this one to be extended when this one's extended. So we need to get these guys on the same page, and how we're going to do that is we're going to come right up here with our redstone torches. We're going to go and place 2 redstone torches just like that. Come off this area by 2 blocks, go ahead and break that one and come across 3 just like that. And we're going to go ahead and place redstone just like that, and we're going to go ahead and come over here with a sticky piston just like so on that face. Come down with some slime blocks just like this, and you're going to come all the way down until we reach this area, which on this area we're going to go ahead and come across with 1 block just like so. Go ahead and put redstone on its face and bring your redstone block right there, and that will go ahead and make that area retracted as well. So now, as you can see, if we go ahead and power this circuit, let's go ahead and get some purple terracotta just like this. Now this is going to simulate them being open and retracted, so they're both on the same page now. as you can see, both of them extend, and now both of them retract. So therefore they're on the same page. So that's that circuit done. Now, the other thing too is you're going to need some immovable blocks, because this is the roof level right here. This is the roof level. So on this piston right here, extended, you're just going to go ahead and place your immovable block. It doesn't have to be a dropper. It could be a furnace or whatever you want it to be, whatever you think looks good. And you're going to go ahead and place that like that. And then also you're going to come down here on the floor level and do the exact same thing. So we're going to go ahead and go like that, like that, like that, and like that. And it doesn't really matter because you're not going to see these anyway, because what we're going to do right now is we're going to go ahead and grab some carpet. And I actually like this blue carpet here. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and take some of that carpet there and grab also some of these sea lanterns here, just like that. And what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and complete this up. We're going to go ahead and bring that sea lantern out just like that. We're going to bring that out just like so. And we're also going to go this way as well. And I think we actually go all the way out like that. Yeah, we're going to bring that out all the way across there. And as you can see, these are transparent blocks, so it actually does let that redstone go through there. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go and place our carpet on top of all this redstone and on top of this entire outer layer right here. Let's see if we can do that there. There we go. So yeah, go ahead and place this carpet all the way around just like so. Alright, so once your farm has this type of look where we have this carpet in place and we have the communicator going from top to bottom here, it is now time to place in your roof. So you're going to come on the inside of the farm here at the glowstone level when it's retracted. And we're going to go ahead and start placing in our roof. So we're going to go ahead and come in just like that. We're going to leave that area open because that actually does get a piston on top, but we're going to go ahead and case all this in with a block of your choice. It doesn't have to be wood. It can be any block that you want. I just happen to like the way that oak wood looks. I think it looks nice, and it gives a nice contrast between the redstone circuits that we have on top and the actual farm itself. So, and we can bring this up just like so, and we're going to leave the middle open here as well. And actually we're going to leave I think we're actually going to go like this. We're going to break that block right there, and we're actually going to put a redstone torch there, and we're going to come up like that and place another redstone torch right there. So that's going to be part of the circuit that we're going to need, and we're going to go ahead and continue the rest of this. So once you have this floor in place and you have this redstone in place, now what we can do is we can actually grab our glass, and let me go ahead and grab a glass block here. There we go. And that's what this area is for. We're going to go ahead and cover this up to make that look uniform, just like so. There we go. And then we're also going to go like this with some stairs. Let's go ahead and grab some stairs here, just like this. And we'll go ahead and make this look nice too. Go ahead and come across just like that and cover that redstone up there as well. There we go. Alright, so you've got a basic setup for your farm now. You've got a roof on it, and you've got a lockdown system with a communication system that keeps both floors on the same page. So you've actually come a pretty long way, and now it is time to build some of the redstone bits that go up on top. And I'm going to let you guys know, from this point forward, this build does get a little complicated. I'm going to try to go a little bit slower, explain this thing out to where you guys can build it the right way the first time. So here we go. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and build a circuit in which tells this thing to open up if a villager does get trapped in here, okay? Because this thing does go under lockdown mode. Like I said, sometimes a villager gets locked inside, and when he does, we need to know that. So this is the circuit that's going to tell this machine to do this. So what we're going to do is we're going to come on top of that tripwire hook right there, the block that has a tripwire hook, and place a regular piston. Now this circuit, we're going to go ahead and use lime green terracotta. We're going to go ahead and come up 3 blocks just like that, place a redstone block there, and another lime green block right there. Okay, now we're going to come up 3 more blocks, just like so, break these 2 out, take a regular piston, and we're going to place it coming downwards on that face. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and place redstone right here. And actually first, it might be a little bit easier to actually go like this, break that guy, and actually let's get a sticky piston out here really quick. Here we go. And we're going to go and place that guy right here, just like that. There we go. Now we can go and place our redstone in just like so. And what we're going to do is we're going to place a redstone block on its face. Now what we're going to do is we're going to need to crouch to do this, but first we're going to go and place a hopper right there. Let me go ahead and fall. Now what we're going to do is we're going to crouch, place into that hopper there, break this one, and then do the same thing going back into it. So that goes ahead and creates a hopper timer is what that does. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add about 2 stacks of stone in there. So let's go ahead and clear 2 spots in our inventory. Let's go ahead and get 2 stacks of stone. I'm going to go ahead and uncrouch, place these guys in there just like that. There we go. Go ahead and bring these back into our inventory here. Alright, so now that that's done, what we're going to do is we're going to come off the bottom of this hopper right here. Oop, just like so. We're going to need a block right there. Alright, then what we're going to do is we're going to place a comparator coming out of that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to bring our circuit up like that 1 block. And I believe we're going to come up another block again, just like so. We're going to come across just like that, and then we're going to come up another block like this, and then 2 more blocks across like that. And we're going to take our repeaters right here. We're going to place one like that, and then this one's going to be on 3 ticks, just like that. And then the rest of this is going to be redstone across right here. Now, one of the things that actually this farm does have a problem doing is sometimes the villager will be in there and go across the tripwire at the same time that this comparator reaches this point. Now, if that happens, what happens is that this does not extend because this circuit is being pushed up by a extended piston, in which if this actually needs to push at that time, it will not push ever. It'll get stuck there indefinitely. So to prevent that from happening, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and bring this circuit around just like that, place 2 bits of redstone right here, and then put this on subtract mode, which makes this thing turn into a comparator clock, which will turn this that's why this repeater here needs to be on 3 ticks. It'll make this piston go up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down, until the villager actually does come out of there. And it doesn't actually go up and down until the villager does come out, in which case it does tell the circuit to actually disconnect and make it to where this thing can actually go back under lockdown mode with the villager outside the farm. So like I said, that does get a little bit complicated. I'm sorry if I lost you guys there, but yeah, so this is that circuit. Now one of the things that I like to do to stop lag in this whole farm is because of the fact that we have a lot of hoppers, is I like to go like this. I like to go like that, and then also like this, to make it to where the hoppers no longer have chuck updates. One of the things that I like to do is add an empty container, something that's empty, okay, above your hopper. What that does is it stops the check updates from hoppers, because hoppers cause a lot of lag. So little pro tip there, go ahead and add an empty container above your hopper to stop the check update lag, and it doesn't actually do anything. It stops items from accidentally falling in the hoppers too, which will mess up your timings as well. So it's just an all-around good habit to get into, to go ahead and start putting empty containers on top of your hoppers. It can be droppers, dispensers, furnaces, even a chest, but I like full blocks like these, so it looks a lot better. And then you can face them in towards each other so it looks more industrial like that too. You don't actually see a furnace. It looks nice from all angles. So just a little tip there. So once your farms looks like this, go ahead and move on to the next step. Alright, once you have this redstone contraption built on your farm, it is now time to move on to the next step. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and place in this yellow circuit over here, which is rather a big circuit. This circuit is rather big, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and break it down into little bite-sized chunks before you actually move on to the next step. I will go ahead and let you know when to pause the video and get yourself up to speed before you move on to the next section. So for this section, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and grab our piston. We're going to come to this redstone torch that we placed here earlier. If you remember correctly, we came down here on the side of our tripwire hook, placed a redstone torch, and then above that block we also placed another redstone torch. This torch can be on either side. It just matters that this one is on the corresponding spot to be inverted. So now that we have that area, we're going to go ahead and place a regular piston coming off that torch, just like so, just like that. And we're going to place a redstone block on its face, skip a block, and then we're going to place another piston facing that way. Now what we're going to do is we're going to grab our repeater, we're going to come in here just like that, and we're going to grab our yellow terracotta, and we're going to place that in just like so, with redstone on top. So go ahead and build this little bit first before you move on to the next step. So once you have this portion of the circuit built, we'll go ahead and move on to this part. Now what you're going to need to do next is you're going to need to place a yellow terracotta block right there with two droppers coming off of that, just like so, facing upwards like this. This one you will need to crouch place, just like so. Alright, then this redstone here is there to lock this hopper. You're going to need to crouch place that there as well too. And then what we're going to do is we're going to actually come on top of here with our chest. Let's see here. There we go, just like that. Place our chest in just like that. There we go. Okay, now what we're going to do also is we're going to come just like this on this side. We're going to need to crouch place another hopper coming into the back of this chest just like that, with another chest on top of there and on the side of that one there, just like that. And we're going to come in the back here with another hopper that points right in the back right here. So go ahead and build this little chest circuit system before you move on to the next step. So now you should have something looking like this on your farm. You should have this hopper dropper configuration just as I have it displayed right here. Now what we need to do is we actually need to wire up this droppervator. This is just a too tall droppervator to reload our system. So how we're going to do that is we're going to go ahead and place our yellow terracotta right there. We're going to place a comparator coming out of that drop right there. That's really cool that in this game you can actually read the contents of that dropper through a block into a comparator. So that's pretty cool. And we're going to come up one block just like so. We're going to place redstone on top of that block, and then we're going to come over here one block up just like that, break that one. We're going to place a torch on top of that guy right there. Now what we're going to do is we're going to come across here with some hoppers. Okay, this is going to be our hopper timer. We're going to go ahead and crouch place these into place. You're going to go ahead and place one into it like that, and then another one back into itself just like so. And we're going to break this block here, and then what we're going to do is we're going to crouch place some redstone on top of this hopper right here. And as I said earlier, I do like to place empty containers on top of my my hoppers, so I'm going to go ahead and crouch place that furnace right there to go ahead and stop the check update from that one hopper, even though we can't do it on this one, but that's okay because we need the redstone there. And now what we're going to do is we're going to take a comparator output from this one right here. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a comparator, place that right there, come up a block just like so, put a redstone torch on the back of that one right there, and as you can see, it did make that dropper tick right there, and we're going to go ahead and crouch place a block on its face just like that. So that is that circuit all done. So now when the farm is actually getting reset, as you can see, this hopper right here is actually locked by this system. So when the farm actually turns on, no items can actually go into this dropper and be reloaded in the system, which means that the items will actually be able to flow in this chest and stay there. So once the farm is actually deactivated, the farm will reactivate itself. So as you can see, the circuits are starting to pull themselves together, starting to make sense as how this whole thing works. But first, like I said, get this part of it built before you move on to the next step. So, if you haven't guessed by now, what we're building here is a big giant timing circuit. What we're doing is we're going to be able to time the amount of time it takes for items to flow from this chest into this chest. And then when finally they all flow into there, the system will reactivate, shoving the items back into the top chest. Now, we have one way of locking this hopper right here. The only issue is we don't have a way of locking this hopper back here. Now, this part of the circuit is a rather big part of the circuit, so we're going to break this down into a couple steps. So, we're going to go ahead and get things started by coming up 2 blocks right here in front of this chest, just like that. Okay, and we're going to come up another block just like so, and we're going to put a comparator facing into that block coming from that chest, just like that. Not a repeater, a comparator. Where's my comparators at? There we are. Let's go ahead and put that over there. So let's go ahead and put a comparator there. Alright, now what we're going to do is we're going to put a redstone torch on the side of that block right there. That'll be for later. And then what we're going to do is we're going to come over a total of 3 blocks. So 1, 2, 3 right here. And then over this piston, we're going to place a half slab just like that. And we're going to come across 3 more blocks just like so. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take that redstone torch right there. We're going to come across, put a redstone block right there. Put redstone on top of that one. Put a redstone torch on the side of that one, and then put a redstone repeater facing into that block right there, which as you can see, when this redstone here actually fills all the way up, it will hit this redstone torch, which will deactivate the farm, pushing that redstone block back, which will eventually unlock this hopper, allowing the items to actually go back through. So, once you have this part of it built, go ahead and move on to the next step. Alright, so once you have this in place, you are now ready to move into the next step. What we're going to do here is we're going to come on top of this bar that we made earlier, and we're going to put redstone on top of the entire thing. So we're going to have a total of 7 redstone on top of this guy. Now what we're going to do is we're going to come over to the end, break out our yellow terracotta, break that one out beneath from there. We're going to take our regular pistons and place them just like that. Now what we're going to do is we're going to come out 2 slime blocks just like so, come up 1, and then come out 2 more. Now what we're going to do is we're actually going to come out 1, 2, 3, go ahead and break these 2, and then place another piston right there on that one, just like that, okay? Now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and place a redstone block there just like that. Now you're going to take some yellow glazed terracotta or any other form of immovable block that will not interact with slime blocks, and you're going to place that one right there, and you're going to go ahead and place some redstone on top of that one. So once you have this built, go ahead and move on to the next step. So your farm should be looking something like this before you move on to this step. This next step, we're going to be creating a quadruple hopper timer. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and pull out our hoppers. We're going to place one facing right into there like that. Now for the rest of these, you are going to need a crouch place. So you're going to come on top of this one, crouch, place it into the side of that one, place it into the side of that one, place this one into the side of that one, go ahead and break this one and place this one into the side of this one as well. So now, as you can see, if we place one item in there, it should flow around just like so every second or so. It takes a little bit longer than it does for your regular double hopper timer right there. This is a quadruple hopper timer, so it allows this to actually pulse a little bit slower. So what we're going to do now is we're going to actually come off the bottom of this guy, okay, just like this. We're going to go ahead and crouch, place a block underneath just like that. There we go. Alright, now we're going to bring a comparator coming out of that one like so. Okay, now we're going to place another block on the front here, just like that. And we're going to go ahead and place some redstone on top of that block there, just like that. Now as you can see, this is actually making that pulse about once every second or so. So that's going to make it to where this hopper actually only lets an item out once every second or so, instead of as fast as a regular hopper does. So it actually goes about 4 times slower. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and place a torch on the side of that one there, which as you can see does go on and off. And we're going to go ahead and place 2 more blocks just like this with some redstone dust on top, just like that. So there is your hopper clock all done that will actually unlock this part of the hopper. Now what we need to do is actually place our furnaces. Like I said, you don't have to do this, I just prefer to do this. I like to place my furnaces to keep the check update from happening on the hoppers, and also it keeps items from falling in on accident. So just a good habit to get into, like I said earlier. So once your farm starts to look like this and you have this circuit in place, it is now time to move on to the next step. Alright, so your yellow circuit is really coming together now. It's almost complete. You might notice a few things. You'll probably notice that this circuit right here is pulsing. If that's bothering you, you can come right over here to this piston right here, power that on and depower it, which will lock this hopper. And as you can see, that stopped that pulsing right there, because this item no longer goes round and round. It gets locked into that hopper right there. And as you can see, that locks this hopper right here. So once that activates, this hopper is locked as well, which means we can come over here to this box and we can place items in the top of it without them actually going anywhere. So that's why that circuit needs to be there. So, and another thing you might have noticed is I never placed any type of container on top of this hopper right here. Now you can't place a regular furnace, but you can place a dropper or dispenser of some sort. So what we're going to do is we're going to place a block on top of that chest right there. We're going to take a dropper or dispenser, crouch, place that on top of there, just like that. There we go. And as you can see, it looks uniform on all 4 and actually 5 sides, including the top. So that's what you can do right there. And now we're going to go ahead and move on to the next step. Now, one of the key things is that if you remember, this farm is activated by this redstone block. This redstone block powers this repeater, which powers this redstone, which ultimately powers that hopper. But that's not the only thing we're doing with it. We have this comparator up here, which is not affected by that redstone, but we can still pull from that redstone signal out from the other side. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab our repeater here. Go ahead and grab our repeater. We're going to go ahead and face that out of that block like that. Okay, now we're going to come up one block like so. We're going to place redstone dust on top of that block just like that. Now we're going to come off the side of that redstone like that, one block. We're going to place a redstone torch on the back side of it just like that. And now we're going to place a block on top of that redstone torch just like so. And we're going to place redstone dust on top of that one. Now what we're going to do is we're going to break out our yellow terracotta again. We're going to come up one block just like that, place another redstone torch on that face right there, and actually we can keep that block around until we get that one in place. Now we can break that one, and let's go ahead and place a repeater just like that. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to come up one block again just like so, place redstone on top of that guy. Now we're going to be placing a sticky piston just like this right here. Let's go ahead and place a sticky piston right there. These are all temporary. We can break these. Now we're going to place a block right there on the face of that one, so that way this redstone torch here will power that block. And then what we're going to do is we're going to come on the face of that torch just like that and place a block there with a repeater on top. And that is your circuit all done and dusted. Now this thing is fully complete. We still have a few more circuits to put in here to actually get the whole thing working, but this is your yellow circuit all done. Now as you can see, this yellow circuit here is just the timer. This is just the timer. That's why this is all one color, and yet it's because it's so big I broke it down into small pieces for you guys. But now let me go ahead and explain what this thing does. So what's happening now is we are actually timing when the villager actually comes through the farm and trips this tripwire. At the time that this tripwire is tripped, the piston up here will actually fire this redstone block into place. Now that's activating the farm, letting the farm know that the villager is here planting the farm. Now that's going to activate this redstone signal here. Now as you guys know, that redstone signal is going to be measured coming through this part. Now when this part comes through, it's going to come all the way up, which as you guys know, I don't have to explain all this, it's going to push this slime block out this way. Okay, now what that's going to do is it's going to disconnect this circuit, unlocking this hopper, allowing items to flow down from this chest into this chest. Okay, now this comparator here is reading the amount of items that we have in here. So the longer that this is on, the more items that are going to drain into here. The longer that the items drain into there, the fuller this redstone signal is actually going to become. Now it's going to take a long time due to this quadruple hopper timer for this redstone to actually reach the end over here, in which it does, this circuit will be unlocked and it'll be pushed back. So therefore it'll be deactivated, and this redstone here will be activated right here, which as you guys know, deactivates this farm by activating this piston and pushing this redstone block back, which you guys know unlocks this hopper, allowing the items to go into the dropper and be pushed up into the chest above. Now because we have this quadruple hopper clock right here, this hopper will be locked, so when the items actually go into this chest, they will stay until the farm is completely deactivated and is harvested, and the farm is actually brought out of lockdown mode and the villager can get back in again. And then once the villager gets back in again and trips that tripwire hook, the whole system will start back over. So there's your yellow circuit all done and explained. It is now time to move on to the next step. So now that your yellow circuit is now all done and dusted, we have a timer. But this timer doesn't do anything yet. It doesn't tell the farm anything. It actually doesn't communicate to any part of the farm. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to tell this timer to communicate to the lockdown system. So we're going to break out our purple terracotta again, which again it's blue, but we're going to call it purple in the tutorial just because it is purple. The color is purple. I don't care if the name of it is blue. It's the color purple. So if you remember, we came off the side of this bar right here where we created in the very beginning of this yellow circuit, and we placed a redstone torch right here. We're going to go ahead and use that. So we're going to go ahead and place a purple terracotta block right there. We're going to place redstone on top of that guy and one down here as well. Now you can use the colored blocks down here if you like, but because of the way that it looks down beneath, I'm not going to be using that in the tutorial. I'm going to try to make this look as good as possible, as clean as possible. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take a repeater and come out of that guy right there. So we're going to come around back to the front of that repeater, and we're going to place a purple terracotta block right there, and we're going to put a redstone torch on its face just like that. Now out of that face we're going to be bringing out 3 more repeaters. We're going to go 1, 2, 3 just like that, and we're going to be putting a block there, there, and there just like that. And then on the last block over here we're going to put a redstone torch on top. Okay, now what we're going to do with that redstone torch is we're going to come up another block just like so, and we're going to make a staircase somewhat like this. Now this one here, this third one, we're going to come up one more block, break these two, and put a half slab just like that on its face, and then we're going to come across just like this and break that block on top, come out over to this piston right here, and come right into there. Now what we're going to do is we're actually going to put a repeater on that green circuit block right there, and then put some redstone dust all the way across on here on top of this half slab, and then bringing it all the way down into here. So as you can see, that actually does lock this system, which makes it to where if the villager is in there, it cannot make that system go up. We have that in there for a certain reason, to make sure that the systems don't get crossed, because we want one system to completely deactivate before this hopper system is actually in touch. Once it tells it to go into lockdown mode, this will actually come up, and then if the villager is still stuck in there, this component will take place. So that is part of the reason why we have this lockdown system for the lockdown system. So alright, so once you have this built in place, we will move on to the second step of this purple circuit. Alright, so once you've linked up this redstone all the way to up here onto this lime green circuit, you are now ready to actually complete this purple circuit. So this is the last step on this purple circuit right here. We're going to go ahead and take a piston, a sticky piston like that with a redstone block on its face. We're going to go ahead and crouch place some hoppers here. We're going to go ahead and place a hopper here, and then we're going to hop up on top of that one and crouch place one into the side there just like that. Break this one, and then place another one going into the side there like that. Now we are going to put 5 stacks of any item in here just like that. There we go. And then what we're going to do is we're going to be bringing out a comparator out of the front. So let's go ahead and grab our comparator and place that here just like that. There we go. Now what we're going to do is we're going to bring 2 blocks across like that. We're going to come down 1 block. Let's go ahead and come down just like that. Break that one on top, and then we're going to come back up like this right here. Alright, now we're going to take some redstone torches. We're going to go on both sides just like this, and we're going to go ahead and put some redstone just like this. Alright, then we also need to put a purple block there to go ahead and stop these 2 pieces of redstone from canagling. So that should go ahead and make the whole farm communicate now. So when the farm times out, this circuit here will be able to control the lockdown mechanism. And then once the villager actually gets put in place, this system here will deactivate, in which in case the villager is still in there after this deactivates, this machine right here will take over, which is why we have it locked down, because we want this part of it to actually take effect first. So, and again here, we're going to go ahead and place furnaces on top of these guys to go ahead and block any items from falling in and to stop their checkup date. So that is the purple circuit all done and dusted. Alright, so once you have this purple circuit all done and dusted, it is now time to move on to the next step. So we've got quite a few things going on here. We have 3 circuits in total so far. We still have a 4th one to put in, and even a 5th. So what we have so far is we have this system where the lockdown mode is actually in place. So this thing knows when to actually go into lockdown mode. It also knows to reopen if there's a villager in place. But what it doesn't know is when the farm is completely fully grown, it doesn't harvest it yet. So that's going to be the next step. We're going to go ahead and add in our lapis lazuli block. That's going to be our blue circuit. So what we're going to do is we're going to come over here to this purple block that we added over here, and it's actually going to be split between the purple circuit and the blue circuit. So we're going to go ahead and pull off of this. We're going to go ahead and pull off that with a repeater just like so. We're going to go ahead and put that into a blue block just like that. We're going to go ahead and put redstone dust there just like so, and then we're going to add another repeater just like that. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to break this block right here. We're going to put a sticky piston up just like that with a blue block on that face like that. Put another repeater right here coming out of this one just like so with a blue block on that face and a piston facing downwards. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this glass out right here. We're going to put a regular piston on the side of that one there, and then place glass coming down just like that. And now what we're going to do is we're actually going to break that block below us, and we're going to replace glass coming down with lapis lazuli right there, which will actually make the water look seamless. That's part of the reason why we have redstone going through the water. So that's how we do that, is we make it look seamless with some lapis lazuli, which is another reason why I said it would be a good idea to fill all these up. It does make it look a lot better. So with that lapis lazuli right there, what we're going to do next is we're going to put a redstone block on the bottom of that guy, 2 more glass, and that'll be it for the system. Then we need our piston down at the bottom, so we actually need to come down 3 more blocks, break these 2, take a regular piston, place it upwards on that, and that is that part of it done. So we still have one more step to do on the harvesting system, but go ahead and build this first before you move on to that next step. So you should have this repeater coming out of this purple block like this, with a blue block right here, redstone, repeater, monostable circuit with another repeater, with another block with a piston facing downwards right next to the activating piston. So I do recommend that you actually do put this redstone torch on this side. I said earlier that you could put it on either side, but I recommend that you put it on this side because obviously we're going to need this area. So I take that back. It does have to go on the right hand side, and your torch up here is going to have to go on the left hand side. So just a little FYI tip before you actually get started building the farm. So next step is actually to build the harvesting circuit that goes beneath.